I'm going to see if I can video this morning. This is Margaret Ann Windsor, and that's my real name. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I married a Childers. I wanted to put this up because money was stolen from me, but that's been done over and over again. Who I am is obvious. They brought me to Moulton, Alabama, and gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann, and both twins, Peggy and Carl, were dead, and I put the photos up of that family and Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins. She killed them. They were born out of wedlock, and I was brought there. I was kidnapped by Joe Kennedy, who was ambassador to England, 36 till they kicked him out, 45. Roosevelt, the New World Order, the Rothschilds and Bilderbergers and Rockefellers. My own Uncle George, the illegal George VI, helped in my kidnapping and taking down my father, Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. That was a total lie and orchestrated to remove my father illegally, and his own brother helped do it and kidnap me, Victoria II. And there was an addendum to the illegal forced abdication and a 99-year seal put on it to cover up the crimes. Anyway, my identity was stolen, and I found out in 1983 after entering into a political campaign and being flown out to Larry Flint's. And I've already put all this up. I wanted to address, I'd written a book, and that's how Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia in 78, March of 78. The person was programmed to shoot and kill his attorney and shoot Mr. Flint. I had been writing about modifying behavior and programming people to kill or making people appear to die of natural cause when it's murder by mind control. And these that happened later, I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, and I thought it was the book that they were referring to. I had the letter from U.S. Attorney Harper, and in it stated ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, I always knew there was something wrong with my birth in that horrible family that I grew up in, but I found out in 83 that's why all this has happened. The illegal takedown of my father and installing Elizabeth and illegal treaties that were signed, anything after they took out my father. And I am the legal heir. And then my sons, Mark and Scott. What I wanted to refer to now is I've been telling all this about mind control murders and the ones that were done, specifically done in patterns, because mind control is hard to prove. It's invisible. So these over the years were done in patterns, and I'm just going to list some here. The Virginia Tech shootings in '07, the Tucson, Arizona, where Gabby Gifford, Congresswoman, was married to twin Mark Kelly, twin to Scott Kelly, both astronauts. And I won't go into all that. It was done in patterns, all these, and they can be proven. But what I wanted to get to was I had money stolen, that I have very little to live on, and I had to go down to the shelter. And while I was there, I didn't catch on at first. I was put up in a room with a Laura, two Lauras. Laura is the name of John's sister, my husband's sister, who helped in what happened to me April Fool Day of 80. I won't get into that. I should have died. But Laura's his sister's name, Laura Mae Childers, or Klein. So now she lives in Texas, by the way, outside Austin. Now then, there's two Lauras in there, and the Laura who I liked, who was a friend, I hope, she had a twin sister, oddly enough, that was in the shelter, and her name was Lena. And I won't get into anything else about them. I mean, she was nice, the Laura was. The Laura that slept in the bunk bed up over me, I didn't know that well. She didn't say very much, so I won't go there. There was a real heavy woman named Mary Alice. Well, Mary Alice was one of the girls that was in school with me all the way through high school and grammar school. And I finished in 57. Now then, she had, oddly enough, I didn't get this till I had been there a few days. She had twins, Connor and I don't remember the other twin's name. But Connor's the name of Scott Peterson's child that was killed when his wife Lacey died, and Mark Geragos was the attorney there, and I have faxed Mark Geragos, and I have heard, this has been some years ago, from his investigator. So now then, you've got this coming into play. You got twins, which I was brought over here and given the name of the twin, but there's been another input on twins that means a lot, whether it's true or not. Okay, now then, you've got where it's coming into play, and you'd have to see it, because this takes detailed programming and going back and just what I've told you, that deaths were made to appear of natural cause. It's the Tesla files that were stolen. You can cure cancer, you can cure illnesses, or you can create them using mind control. And I've told this, and people don't want to hear it. They'd rather call me names and help kill me, and that's just about where I'm at right at the moment when I landed up there in the shelter. Okay, now you got this woman named Mel, if I can get all this on, and she's running around in a wheelchair. They're letting her get away with 2 places to live there, and she's up there on the sofa watching TV all night, taking up the sofa and a bed there, and then going down to Modified and taking up a bed when she pleases. But anyway, I found out this went on, which shouldn't have been allowed to happen. But anyway, it went on, and I found out her name is Melody. Well, they had to do a background check on me, can you believe, to get into the shelter. And so this is where I go back when I found out her name was Melody, to the Reverend in Washington, North Carolina, that owned Joseph's Way in Bedford, where I lived. And this is where they really did me in. This is a Section 8, and the toxic fumes and what they did to me just about destroyed me. I always paid my rent. I left 3 places because it was already fixed by law enforcement that I go there, and I have an immune disorder. My immune system attacks itself when I'm in close quarters, and toxic fumes are deliberately placed there. And over a period of time, it's just about killed me. My organs, the inflammation, you have to get away from it, is what you have to do. You can't inhale it. So if it's inside your home and it's not fixed, you have to run. And once again, I'm not sure this is filming, but retired State Trooper Carl Barton said, his wife said, this is how we run you with chemicals. Well, I'd known that, but my word's been made no good. So anyway, after, let's just say this, after I'd left Bedford, and this minister owns a whole slew of these, and so they're helped financed by the federal government. They're low income. Okay, I applied in Christiansburg next door. That's where the mass murders happened, in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech. And that was mind control. And everybody around here knows it, police officers, everybody. And somehow I'm blamed. I'm just the messenger telling it and telling about my kidnapping and who did it. And it's an ongoing hell for me. Anyway, I applied over there because a brand new, the Reverend had just opened one there. And the girl's name was Scott, the manager. And this is how it's going. My son's name's Scott, and one's named Mark. Mark is heir to the crown after me. And their names have been used in the mind control murders that are done in patterns. So now then you got Scott, who's manager over there, Miss Scott, and she won't rent to me. She says that there has to be a background check, and I need not even try to apply again or have anyone investigate. It won't do me any good. Okay, so I didn't drop it at that. I pursued, but it didn't do me any good. But her name's Scott, and she's still manager. She kept her job, and that's what this is all about. Everybody has something to hide. The top law enforcement has gotten people to cooperate with them and really bashing me. Maintenance people that own the low rent or whatever, where I'm trying to live or whatever. Okay, now then, you've got where I'm at